YouTube, what is up, you guys? Welcome back to another Escape from Tarkov video. Today, we're going to be going over 3 builds for the AKM. The AKM and AKMN actually share the same exact builds and the same exact stats, and they've also been the meta for 762 by 39 rounds this wipe. We're going to be going over a budget build, a mid-tier build, as well as a meta build. If this video ends up helping you guys out, hope you leave a like and comment to help with the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe for future content. We're going to be doing a lot more of these guys in the future, and looking forward to it. But with all that said, let's get into the video. All right, guys, so starting off first with the budget build. This is it right here. If you guys want to go ahead and screenshot this, you can do that right now, but we're going to go ahead and build from scratch. All right, so starting with the base AKM, first thing you want to do is throw in the rubber butt pad. Next, you want to change the handguard to the CAA handguard, and because this already has rails on it, you can throw on a foregrip. So we're going to throw on the RK4 foregrip. Next, we're going to throw the SRVV muzzle brake, which reduces a decent bit of recoil. The thing to note about this is that this is only bought from level 3 traders, but from the flea market, you'll see that it's actually pretty cheap to buy from the flea market as well, and stays consistently like that. So we're going to and go ahead and do that either way. We're going to throw it on. Now, there's 2 things you actually can do here. First, actually, let's throw on the flashlight. To stay consistent, we're throwing the X400 on every single gun that we build today. So you can take off the iron sight and throw on a bastion, and then throw on a sight. To stay consistent, we're also going to use the same sight, so we're going to be using the hollow sight today. And this is also a viable build right here, right? I actually prefer to remain budget and instead throw on the TT01 and throw my sight onto that. And it just feels better, in my opinion, for a budget build. So let's go ahead and it's all preference. So like I said, you can throw on the bastion by well, and it also takes off 2 recoil, so it might be worth it. I personally will just prefer this. But with all that said, let's go ahead and price this thing out. The first thing you gotta do is take off all the parts that come with the gun already. All right, so as you can see, we got everything removed, and now the gun comes out to 114k, which I feel like is very cheap for a 762 by 39 gun. And I'm gonna show you guys how to shoot later on, but to go over everything, let's price everything out. So you can get the gun from level 2 Prapper, you can get the sight from level 2 Peacekeeper, the handguard from level 2 Peacekeeper, the RK4 foregrip from level 2 Skier, the X400 also from level 2 Peacekeeper, the muzzle brake from level 2 Peacekeeper again, but you can also get from the flea market. I've seen it go for 10k. I've also seen it go for 15k, and that's usually what it goes for. The recoil pad, it goes for level 2 Prapper, and the TT01 rail from level 2 Prapper as well. So now that we got the whole thing priced out, let's go ahead and take the hideout and show how you shoots. So we're going to be going over 2 types of rounds here, and we've only ever done this for this gun, actually. We've never done this before. But I want to show you guys the comparison between BP rounds and US rounds. And that's mainly because 79 recoil on a 762 by 39 gun is a lot of recoil, which you'll see here in a second. But there's also an alternative. So there's also the US rounds that actually take away 30 recoil versus the BP rounds, which add 5 recoil. Now, obviously, there's a difference in stats, right? US rounds only have 29 pen and 56 flush damage, whereas BP rounds have 47 pen and 58 flush damage. So you're actually compensating a lot on the pen power. But if you're running a budget gun, I'm assuming you're not really necessarily you don't really have access to BP rounds all that often. So US rounds are a super amazing alternative for PS rounds. And we're gonna show you guys that's today as why. But first, we're starting off with BP rounds. So let's go ahead and show you shoot. So first thing we're gonna do is shoot without pulling down. And good lord, that might be the most recoil we've ever had in a weapon test. So let's try. We can see I actually shot all the way to the ceiling and some. Let's go ahead and pull down and try to control the recoil. So while standing still, that's really insanely hard to control. Let's try shooting from crouch at a longer range target. Oh, yeah. That's rough. The jump you see to the left here, that was actually just me pulling down, and it pulled on its own all the way to the left. And then I pulled back. You can see it started pulling back to the right a little bit more. Let's try shooting at Tarkov while strafing now, though. And Jesus. Just miserably hard to hit targets with. I'm assuming hipfire actually isn't too bad with this. If you're up close, if you're kind of even medium range, I would say definitely tap fire. I would almost put it to single fire so you don't accidentally auto fire, you know what I mean? Malfunction, of course. But I do want to show you guys something, so let's put in some US rounds and show you guys the difference in shots. Now we got US rounds loaded in. Let's do the same test. We'll start shooting without pulling down. And look at the difference on the initial kick. First off, I think the highest we got was about right here, and we didn't even come close to the BP rounds. But now let's pull down slightly and try to control it. And at 79 recoil. That is, we basically have an AK with a foregrip on it, and we're able to control the recoil. Let's do it. Crouch from a longer range target with US rounds again. Wow. I mean, this thing feels like it has better recoil than a 31 recoil M4 already. For the last video. Yeah, that's insane. Let's try shooting at a target while strafing, while moving. I mean, that's just phenomenal. So you're obviously compensating on the 10 a lot, right? But if you're using a gun like this, I would definitely rather have more targets on more shots on target than just the hope that I can get 2 shots in the chest. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just so easy to control that it makes, I would say this is definitely worth running. And I'm only showing this off again, the US rounds, because it's such a good round. Minus 30 recoil for a budget gun at 79 recoil. That's phenomenal. I would definitely recommend running this over BP, even if you have it. But let's go over our next up. We're going to be going over our mid-tier build. So let's do that. And here is our mid-tier build. If you guys want to go ahead and screenshot this, you can do that now, but we're going to build it from scratch again. Starting off with the base AKM. First thing we're going to do is change it to the Archangel stock. Next up, we're going to change this to the saw pistol grip right here. After that, we're going to change this to the MOE AKM gray stock. Actually, it doesn't really matter the color, but I just prefer the gray. I think it looks cool. We're going to throw on the 4.1 inch arrow. And next, we're going to throw on the RK1 foregrip. It's going to reduce a lot of recoil. So this next part, we're going to be throwing on, it's pretty expensive. This is where it comes a mid-tier gun. But in my opinion, this is the best bang for your buck. Considering the RD suppressor or the muzzle brake, you can't even buy to level 4 traders. I'm assuming you have level 3 traders. You can actually throw on the best build suppressor at level 3 traders, which is the QDC, and it reduces a ton of recoil. 57 recoil is actually nuts. So I go ahead and do that. If you actually want to stick with unsuppressed, you can also throw on the blast mitigation device. So we go here, we can change this to the blast mitigation device, Land Tech Dragon, and then the blast mitigation device, or that was the adapter. And you're down to 59 recoil, which is actually 2 less than the suppressor. So I always throw on the suppressor again, which is right here. Make sure it's the muzzle brake kit for the QDC. And then after that, now I would actually throw on the I would throw on the Bastion dust cover and the hollow sight yet again. And there is a full build. Oh, minus the flashlight. Sorry. You always throw a flashlight on too. And there's the full build right there. 55 recoil for a mid-tier AKM. Pretty nuts. Let's go ahead and price this thing out. So as you can see here, the gun comes out to 230K, which I would say is pretty decent for a level 3 trader build, as well as being like a mid-tier build. This is all from level 3 traders. I would definitely say that's kind of the price you're paying for guns nowadays. But it's definitely worth it. BP round 7.62, 55 recoil is pretty nuts for level 3 traders. So let's go ahead and price this thing out. So you can actually get the suppressor from level 3 Peacekeeper, the gun from level 2 Prapper, the hollow from level 2 Peacekeeper, the Archangel stock from level 3 Mechanic, the RK1 from level 3 Skier, the QDC muzzle brake kit from a level 3 Mechanic, the Magpul handguard from level 3 Peacekeeper, the Surefire from level 2 Peacekeeper, the US Palm pistol grip is from level 3 Peacekeeper, the Bastion dust cover level 1 Skier, the Kiba Arms muzzle device adapters from level 3 Mechanic, and the 2.5 inch rail is from level 2 Mechanic, and 4.1 inch rail is from level 2 Mechanic. So now that I showed you guys this, let's go ahead and take to the hideout and show you how it shoots. Again, we're going to do the same test. This is with BP rounds, and we're not going to pull down. So initial kick has a decent bit, still touches the ceiling, but it comes down pretty quickly. So now let's shoot while pulling down. A lot of user control, you can see right there. We're actually able to put shots on target without it jumping too far left and right. Now let's shoot from long range target while crouched. Now that was actually pretty easy to do. The fact that we're also suppressed, you see our suppressor is getting hot, so we're gonna reset it. The fact that we're also suppressed just makes this build so much more worth it, in my opinion, than going unsuppressed. The unsuppressed build is plus 2 recoil, and you're dealing with the fact that you're unsuppressed. I would not take this thing unsuppressed to shoreline, like I said, or like, for example, if you're shooting at a long range target with the 7.62 rounds, it is extremely quiet and extremely hard to hear, or extremely hard to find out where you're getting shot from. Most of the time, you just hear the ricochets. So let's shoot while strafing now. It's guns. I mean, as all guns are this way, they're pretty difficult to shoot while moving, especially full auto. So would say that's honestly, this is honestly pretty standard. Now, for shits and giggles, we're gonna test out the same gun with US rounds, and I'm probably just as excited as you are. So let's do it. All right, so here are same thing. US rounds. Let's shoot without pulling down. That's kind of nuts. Let's shoot while pulling down now. This is just for fun, you know. Yeah, insanely accurate. Let's shoot the long range target while crouched. Do the same test. I don't even think I pulled down that time. That's kind of nuts. I pulled down slightly, not by much though. Let's do that strafing now. It's probably gonna jam. All right, nuts. Yeah, absolutely insane. US rounds are just, they make every 7.62 gun look amazing. But let's go ahead and show you guys the final build, which is actually the meta tier build. And here is the meta AKM build. This is also the same for the AKM, AKMN. It's the same exact build, same exact stats. I just prefer the AKM. I think it's like 5K cheaper. So here it is. 46 recoil and 32 erg with the mag in. But you guys getting screenshotted here, but we're gonna build the whole thing from scratch. So let's go ahead and do it. Starting with a base AKM. There's a lot of parts, so bear with me. So first thing you want to do is throw on the Tarkov stock. That's in slot for a long time. Throw on the AGS pistol grip. This is the new one. We're gonna throw on. We're gonna change the mag. Might as well this time, right? First, the giggles help out with the erg. Next up, we're gonna throw on the Bastion. There actually is a better one you can throw on too. Really, it's actually really just the Bastion. It really doesn't do too much. So throw on the Bastion. Level 1 scare again, might as well. Throw on the same site. Next here, we're gonna take this off and just throw on none. And we're gonna change this to the Troy full-length handguard. After that, throw on the 4x2 inch rail. And then the RK2 to reduce as much recoil as possible. Next up, we're gonna throw on the same thread adapter and the same suppressor from the budget kit. Or sorry, not the budget kit, the mid-tier kit. And 46 recoil. Next up, we cannot forget the flashlight to stay consistent. And there we go, 33 recoil or 33 erg with 46 vertical recoil, which is insane. You guys know we're gonna be taking this thing and using the the US rounds in it, which I'm really excited about. But let's first price this thing out. So going from the mid-tier build, which was 239K, this is only 256K, so a little bit more. This is definitely worth the extra cost if you have the traders. And I only mentioned that the previous build because it's all level 3 trader build. It's the best you can get for level 3 traders. I would say run it, but if you have max traders, this is what you want to be going for. So you can get the suppressor from level 3 Peacekeeper, the gun from level 2 Prapper, the hollow from level 2 Peacekeeper, the RK2 is from level 4 Skier, the Troy handguard is from level 4 Mechanic, the Zukov stock is from level 4 Peacekeeper, the Cat QTC muzzle brake is from level 3 Mechanic, the AGS pistol grip is from level 4 Skier. The X400 is from level 2 Peacekeeper. The Bastion rail is from level 1 Skier. The adapter, the muzzle device adapter, is from level 3 Mechanic. The 4.2 inch rail is from level 4 Mechanic. The magazine, level 3 Peacekeeper, and the 3.2 inch rail is from level 4 Mechanic. So with all this priced out, I would say this is actually really cheap compared to an M4, right? Meta M4 coming in at 31 recoil, which still feels like it has more recoil than even our previous mid-tier build. You're paying half the price. I mean, I believe the price for our M4, God, what was it? I think it was 390K. And that's actually the cheaper build too. I believe the full build is 410K for a Meta M4. 31 recoil with the more kick than our mid-tier build, coming at 239K. This is actually going to be better than that too. So let's go ahead and take this thing to the hideout and show you guys how it shoots. And here we are, 46 recoil on an AKM, BP rounds, same test as always, shooting first without pulling down. Let's try it out. The initial kick feels about the same. I noticed it actually didn't hit the roof this time, but it feels about the same as the mid-tier build, which was, what was that? 56 recoil. So a little bit, I think it was a 56 or 57, almost about 10 over. But let's try pulling down now, see how we can control it. And that's me just holding it steady still. The horizontal recoil you guys saw was actually not me compensating. That was just it doing its thing. Let's try crouch from a long range target. And this thing already feels like we have US rounds in it, which is nuts, right? Crouch, especially when crouch, it's just an absolute laser beam. Let's try it while strafing now. And as always, a little bit harder to shoot any full auto gun while strafing this wipe. That's just kind of how it's been. But all you need is BP. We're shooting BP rounds. All you need are 2 rounds to hit in the chest, and they're probably gonna die. Most people aren't running too many level 5 armors this wipe, so yeah, pretty solid. Now, one last test for fun. Let's run it with US rounds. Let's see how it goes. And one final test, US rounds. Let's see how it goes. Shooting without pulling down. Golly, that's nuts. I mean, I think we had 1 or 2 shots go over the actual target. Let's pull down now. And it's just dead on. I'm actually so curious. I mean, this is still 29 pen. This is basically the same pen as PS rounds. And 56 flush. So minus 2 flush damage compared to BP, which is still really good. I'm honestly curious about running this in a raid and with the meta AKM and seeing how it goes. Let's try it from long range target, actually, without even crouching. Wow, that's nuts. I just want to throw a long range scope on it too to see how it shoots. Let's try crouch at a long range target. Man, I didn't even pull down there. That's so nuts. Yeah, this round's really cool, man. I mean, minus 30 recoil is just so unheard of. That's so nuts. Yeah, that's nuts. The round, the round itself is just so good. I mean, look at that. Plus 5% accuracy, durability burn minus 20%. So you can essentially, like, imagine there's an LMG in this game, or even you just throw a 50 round mag in with US rounds. That would actually be a good test to see how many shots it would actually take for it to overheat. I mean, that's minus durability burn 20%, and then plus 50%. What's this? Plus 90. It's almost half of the actual heat from BP rounds. It's almost half. That's insane. This is plus 45, and this is minus. Oh, it's actually, it's plus 5 recoil. Yeah, that's nuts. If this video did end up helping you guys out, I hope you leave a like and comment to help out the YouTube algorithm. Again, we are getting, and subscribe for future content. We're getting very, very close to YouTube partner, and I appreciate all you guys for the support and love that we've been getting lately. It means everything to me, man. Thank you guys so much. But regardless of all that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.